back. Alright, so last week we discussed just kind of like a basic overview about the compass. Well, today I want to go over the Lensatic compass just a little bit, the parts, how to hold it, just the basics, right? Because we're going to cover each compass. We're going to cover this as well, the base plate compass, and then we're going to go into more depths as to how to actually use them. So, but anyway, so the Lensatic compass, and this is something that we did use in the military, was Lensatic compass. And so on the side of this, you're going to have a graduated scale. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a graduated scale there. And this is the total is 1 to 2,500 meters. So a lot of times the Lensatic compasses will be in meters and not feet. So it's just what we use. All right. Now then, the top part, this top part here that folds down, that's the cover, right? And then the bottom, and then this is the thumb ring, and the bottom that the thumb ring is hooked to is the base. So now the other parts you do have. It's kind of hard to see, but down the center of this right here, there's a wire, and that's your sighting wire. So, and we'll go into a little bit later. We'll go into actually how you use that. So, and then you have a bezel ring here. Now this moves, and three clicks. So 10 clicks would be 30 degrees. So 1 click is 3 degrees. So, and then on the inside you do have your magnetic needle. So you have a magnetic needle in there, and around the edge of the needle are your azimuth degrees. So, and then over here you have a rear sight and a magnifying lens, and on the top there you do have a rear sight. So those are all the major components that we'll be talking about when we do discuss how to use this. That's what we'll be talking about. Those are the parts. So now there's two ways that you hold a Lensatic compass. The first one is the center hold, and so basically what you'll do is you'll just hold it, and you use the thumb ring. You'll put your thumb through the thumb ring, and that's to keep it stable. And so when you hold it, center hold, you'll just tuck this into your body, and you can look down, and as you look down, you can see your magnetic needle. And then on the bezel ring, you've got a couple lines on it, and as you move it, you can actually mark or go in this direction. So you can mark a line going in that direction, and then that allows you to keep it, because then if you find where your north is, you mark your line, and then you can keep going in a straight line, which is, if you remember my first video, that's what a compass does. It allows you to move in a straight line. Now, the other method to hold this is called the compass to cheek method. And basically with that, what you'll do is, as before, you'll loop your thumb through the thumb loop. You'll put this at about a 90-degree angle to the top here. So you want it to kind of form a right angle there. Now with this here, as I said, there's a wire down here, a sighting wire. So when you're using this method is more used for when you're using landmarks to navigate. So let's say that there's a big rock or a gigantic tree or a burnt oak, or there's something that's very distinguishable amongst the rest of the terrain. Well, if that's where you're headed, you can use this sight wire, and you bring this up to your chin, and basically what you'll do is you'll line up your picture, you'll line up your needle there, and then when you do it like this, you can actually look down through this magnifying glass, And so as you're looking down through here, through your sight glass, you'll actually be able to read the degrees. And so, and of course the degrees 0 and 160, that's your north, and then 90 degrees is east, 180 degrees is south, and then 270 degrees is west. And so as you read the degrees, you can shoot your azimuth using the compass, and you'll be able to read it. So for instance, if you're somewhere between 0 and 90 degrees, you're going northeast direction. And let's say that you're between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. Well, now you're going southeast. And so that's how you would read this as you're looking down through your numbers. And then you can use the bezel ring, the luminous lines on the bezel ring, to mark your direction. So, yeah, and so that's basically that's your Lensatic compass in a nutshell. Those are the parts we'll be discussing as we move forward. This will come into play when we go outside and use it, as well as when we're talking about maps, because a lot of the things that you'll need to know about maps will come into play when using a Lensatic compass. So, and again, a compass is just designed to keep you going in a straight line. You can still find your way out of things if you understand where the sun rises and sets. So, and then of course next week we'll be talking about the base plate compass, which the base plate compass has some advantages that the Lensatic compass doesn't, and the Lensatic compass has some advantages that the base plate compass doesn't. So, and we're going to be talking about the base plate compass next, and then we'll discuss just like with how we did with this. We're going to break down the parts, how they work, and then after that we'll be talking about how to use these in conjunction with a map. And we're going to, but first we'll talk about maps we'll talk about maps in great detail, the different types of maps, how to read a map, all the important aspects of a map. And then we'll also discuss pace count, as well as like ranger beads and other things you can use for land navigation. And then we'll, like I said, we're going to get outside and we're going to use the compasses. And again, this compass here, you can get one very similar to this at Walmart for like $14 or $15. And if you don't have one and you're even remotely into survival or being prepared for anything, I would recommend getting I recommend at least 3. That way you can, if you have one that's not working, you know which one it is. So because you can use all 3 to figure out what you're going. Like a lot of times in World War II, they would use 2 at the same time just to make sure that they were going in the right direction. They would double check compasses with somebody else because everybody had their compass, and then that way they would be able to know, okay, yeah, this is the right direction. So, but that's it. That's basically your Lensatic compass. That's what we're going to be discussing. Well, that's what we're going to be moving into next when we get into our maps. We're going to be using both the Lensatic as well as the base plate. And I think it's important to understand the parts, because when we're talking about the bezel ring, it's good to know exactly what we're talking about, especially when you're talking about moving it, so you can hear those clicks to know which direction you're going. And that's about it. That's about it for this video. Again, this is the one I've used the most, is a Lensatic compass, and I think they're fun to use because it's nice to be able to know what direction you're going, and know where you're going. So, but I hope you liked the video. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Again, just a reminder, as soon as I hit 250, we'll be doing that giveaway video. So, and we'll be telling you how to enter to win that Mora, as well as the ferro rod that I put together. And so that's about it. So if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd appreciate you hitting that thumbs up. It helps the algorithm, so this pushes out to more people. Go ahead and leave a comment. And until next time, just learn your equipment, and that's kind of what we're going to be doing. We'll be learning equipment.